Hello, 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 all Tech Talk Live. I am here with Coach Dean Brown, and we are on our second segment of Law of Attraction. And just something I threw out there right when me and Mr. Dean got on this live was my week started off rough. And I started off with a crappy attitude, and I was all down. And you know what? Tuesday morning, I woke up and said, no, not going to let that happen. I'm going to roll with it, not get down, and move on. And my week it is getting towards the end of the week because it's Thursday. But you know, just having that positive mood change and making myself think positively and not letting myself get down, it's helped out tremendously. So take it away, Mr. Dean. How
Yes,
are you?
brother. I'm doing very well, and thank you for having me on. Thank you for allowing me to share my passion about the law of attraction. And your concept that you just shared with everybody just right now, as well as me, is very important in the law of attraction. It's also very important with our spiritual connection. So I actually shared this with a mastermind fellow member earlier today, as I was on one of the beautiful training, because of course we all need more training. You never know everything you need to know, and there's always something you can learn. And helping other people is a beautiful, beautiful opportunity, and I want to help all of your listeners today. So what I will share with you right now is what you just talked about is called awareness and choice. The two things that we are born with, awareness and choice. And you were aware that you were in a crappy mood and you chose not to let that rule your day. So there's a reason that people don't have that ability, and that's because they feel that instead of feeling like crap, they are crap. And there's a subtle change there. There's a subtle difference there. So people feel anxious, angry, stressed, frustrated. They say, I am angry or I am anxious. And actually, no, you are not that. You just feel that. And a lot of people need to get to that place where they can separate those two things. They think they are such and such, but they're not. You never stop being you, and you never stop feeling. But what you're feeling doesn't define you unless you choose that to be the case. Does that make sense, brother?
It 100% does. And I think it's one of the hardest things to understand as a person is that you can affect your mental outcome by what you're thinking. And I know we covered this last time, and I'm covering it again because it helps. Is it's who you surround yourself with,
Yep.
and it is very, very true. In a work environment, you get one negative bad apple, it can bring the whole team down.
It sure can.
And that's one of those hard things to recognize, like you just said, that you're having those issues, and that sometimes it's a hard pill to swallow that you
Yep.
are that bad apple.
That can be the case too, my friend. That can be the case when you don't allow yourself to accept the truth, and that you're actually portraying that bad attitude, that, anxiety, stress, anger, frustration, whatever it may be. But what I want to add a second thing. Now, last week, like you mentioned, we spoke about what you think and how you feel about what you think. Today, we're going to talk about what you say about how you feel and the actions you take about what you say. But I'm going to back up a bit. We're going to kind of rehash and add to last week just so everybody can catch up in case you forgot or weren't here. So to address the second half of what you just mentioned, Wes, we are spiritual beings, and our spirit communicates us with us and to us through our emotions. That's our connection with our spirit, is through our emotions, how we feel. And like you mentioned, how we feel can be changed by changing how we think, which we talked about last week. And you did a great job of actually taking action on that awareness. You had some awareness, you made a different choice, and boom, everything changed. And this is exactly how it works with the law of attraction. We need to understand that how we feel, what we think, how we say things about how we feel, and how we take action based on what we say and how we feel and what we think determines what becomes our personal reality, what becomes our manifestations, how circumstances arise in our day. To go back to the spiritual connection thing, you remember when we were kids and we played that game hot, hot, cold, cold, where someone would be blindfolded and you'd say, go find this thing in the room, and you're hotter, you're colder, you're colder. That is exactly how our spirit communicates with us. If we are feeling low vibrational feelings, anxiety, stress, anger, frustration, hate, whatever the case may be, those are the low frequency vibrations. And we feel those because our spirit is telling us, brother, sister, you're thinking the wrong thing. You're way, way, way far away from the vibration of love, which brings in all our better manifesting. You can manifest anything you want by thinking, feeling, saying, and doing in alignment, vibrational alignment with either positive or negative things. I know someone that is the most amazing manifester, but she manifests garbage because she has a bad attitude. And she always says, I can just tell my car is going to break down today. And an hour later, the phone rings. My car just broke down. And we have the power to choose this. We don't have to have it be crap. We really don't.
No, we don't.
And you proved that when you changed your thoughts and feelings based on that awareness. You made a choice, a different choice, and boom, your week improved and everything improved with your week. So keep in mind, our spirit is always communicating with us through our emotions. If you're feeling negative emotions, the spirit is telling you that you're thinking the wrong thing. That's your opportunity to be aware and make a choice to change it. Flip that coin. Go to the other side. If you're anxious, say, wait a second, I'm anxious because I'm thinking about, maybe having a negative balance in my bank account, or I had an argument with my spouse, or my dog puked on the floor, or whatever the case may be. Understand that all of these things are external. You can't change them. Go to the inside where you can change it, and change it. And everything will start to turn around. You'll broadcast a different vibration. You'll signal to the universe that, hey, I want this to be different. I desire for a different circumstance. And it will start to manifest for you.
Yep. And most people don't understand that is, you know what? There's some things you can't control. You can't control that you ran over that nail and got a flat tire. What you can control is how you feel about having to go get yourself a new tire. Yeah, it's going to affect you. But you know what? That's part of it. You deal with it, you move on. And the way I think you let it roll off your back is the most important part of that attraction is, okay, do you let it bring down your whole week?
No.
Or you just let it bring down that 5 minutes and you say, you know what? Maybe I need new tires anyway. And this is make me go get new tires.
There you go. And that's a beautiful thing. It could have been the universe putting you in a place where you just got to that point where you realize, wait a sec, I've been putting off these new tires for months, and it's going to put me in an accident where a nail in the tire is nothing. Time for new tires.
Yeah, or imagine driving down the road and having a blowout and hitting the guardrail at 65, 70 miles per hour. What would that have done to you? 6, 7, 8 months of rehab, getting the car repaired, damaging your car, somebody else's car, hurting somebody else, when all you had to do is get a new tire and say, you know what? That's part of owning a car. If I don't want that problem, I don't own a car.
Well, that is part of the thing. You choose not to have a car, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's lots of people that do have cars. Of course, when you work from home, you don't need a car very much unless you're going to get groceries or stuff like that. But and that's one of the things too. But in the world today, there's a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, a lot of stuff that people think they can control, but they can't.
Yep.
And they develop stress and anxiety about these things that are on the external world, the news, the mandates, whatever the case may be. The situation where we are being manipulated by letting ourselves be led by the narrative, when we ultimately, if we were to go inside and meditate about it, think about it, we realize that doesn't have to be the case. We do not have to choose that. We do not have to let that be the narrative that ruins or leads us into our negative feelings and anxiety. We can choose to change that.
And sorry,
No, brother, go ahead.
the number one way I have found out to not let that negativity in my life is to turn it off. I do not watch the news. I really don't.
Yeah.
It's sad to say that I check things out and then I research it. So let's just hypothetically, because I know this is a hot topic right now going on in Canada. You guys have the convoy going on, the Freedom Convoy.
Big
And
time.
I don't care how you believe in it, don't believe in it. This isn't political. But I wanted to find out what was going on with the Freedom Convoy. I didn't rely on the news to tell me. I went out and researched it myself, looked on blogs, looked at what people were posting, watched some videos, and figured it out myself. And that's one of the major points is, yeah, you can get away from the news and you can get away from those negative influences by just looking up the stuff yourself and not relying on Coach Dean to tell me I have a crappy attitude or that I'm putting crap in, so crap's going to come out.
That's it. Yeah. And trust me, brother, I would not, because I love you as a brother and I don't work with judgment or punishment. I would never tell you have a crappy attitude. I would suggest that, hey, brother, I'm sorry you're struggling with that. Maybe we can get you to shift your thoughts around a little bit and help you, come to a better place. Because I hate seeing people punish themselves by being ignorant of those things and not realizing that they're doing it to themselves.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons I have actually started tossing around an idea with a few people, and I'm planning on launching it soon. Is an accountability group.
Nice.
Once a week or once a month. I haven't decided on that. Where all these business owners, we come together, and you don't have to be a business owner. I don't really care. I really don't. We come together and support each other and try to help that positivity and say, you know what, I need to get this done, but I'm down. All right, as a group, let's solve that.
There you go. There you go. And that's a great idea because accountability is something that you don't normally arrange for yourself. And you don't even realize you need it until you get to that place of a deeper awareness and you get a little bit of frustration, as we were talking, because you're not achieving the things you want to achieve. Maybe you're letting procrastination be part of your daily routine. And then at the end of the day, you're spanking yourself because you didn't get so much done.
Yep.
But that flows into the third and fourth aspects of the law of attraction and how they work. So I mentioned what you say and the action you take because of what you say. So let's dig into that a little bit, shall we?
Yes.
All righty. So everybody, if anybody has any comments, by all means, contact me. Let me know. If there is anybody that is watching this live and wants to ask questions, by all means, let me know. I'm happy to, and I love talking about it because it's a law of life. So what we say, we need to understand that what comes out of our mouth is like toothpaste out of a tube. You can't put it back. And it has energy. It has vibrational strength. It has influence. It has impact. It can be the truth or it can be a lie. It can be angry or it can be happy. It can be anything that your mind chooses. And if our mind and our hearts, our feelings are super, super strong about a particular topic or subject, what we will say will be with the power of that thought and that feeling, and it will cement our vibration, our frequency. And remember, last week I talked about how if you want to cancel something out, you have two different frequencies. So if you think one thing and feel another, you're nowhere near a manifestation. But if you think something positive and feel something positive, now you've got two frequencies that are building on each other. And if you add the power of speech, of voice, of conviction to that frequency, now you've got three vibrations that are in power. And the universe is starting to say, oh, this person knows what they want. They know they feel something powerful, and they're starting to talk about it. So when you're talking about it, you have the opportunity and the ability to influence not only yourself, but the people that listen to what you have to say. If you're in a communication with someone and it's only one person, you're going to influence that person. They may or may not agree with you, but they're going to have no choice but to hear your words. Maybe they don't listen very well and they're actually not listening to you, but their subconscious will still register what you've said. And they will start to feel that, wait a second, maybe that person was right. Maybe I should have listened a little deeper. Maybe I should have had questions. Maybe I should change the way I think because you know what? That person was right, or the opposite. But the point is that what we say has impact. It has power. Do you have any opinion on that or question about that, Wes?
I think that's true because I see it with a lot of people, different clients I have and different people I know, is sometimes you have to plant that seed in their head and get them thinking because they might not even notice that it's even an issue, problem, concern, however you want to look at it. And planting that seed subconsciously, I think, helps a lot when you're trying to get a point across or you're trying to get, say, somebody to change their attitude or change their beliefs. That's one of those things is it's really true on what you say and how you say it. You can either say it the nice and kind way about, okay, I think your attitude isn't where it needs to be. Maybe we can work on it. Maybe we can sit down and talk and I can help you with that. Or maybe you need to go see a professional and get professional help. Because one of my biggest things that I like to tell people that I have seen friends and family that are really scared to go to therapy or something like, oh, I can fix it myself. Well, that's like me going and telling a brain surgeon how to do his job.
Yeah.
And I know nothing about the brain. It's like, so you're depressed and you're unhappy. Well, how do you fix that? Well, I don't know. Well, then why don't you go to an expert that knows how to fix it, that can give you things that you can do to help change what you're thinking and what you're saying, and just planting that little bitty seed of, you know what, Coach Dean is right. There's something going on, and I can fix it by asking for help, or I can fix it by turning off the news.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. Very powerful truth there, Wes. And of course, myself, I'm not a professional as far as a medical professional goes, or a psychologist or a psychotherapist or anything, but I have a lot of experience. I'm a 2-time suicide survivor, so a suicide attempt survivor. Obviously, I wasn't successful.
You wouldn't be here today, which would be very sad.
Yes, brother, I'd miss you too. I'd have to watch you from the spiritual realm. But anyways, that experience, that ability to turn my life around, because obviously I was in a very, very dark place, a very bad place in order for me to even think that, let alone actually attempt it more than once. This is part of what's going on in society today. Those people that other people are listening to on the news that are actually spewing lies and trying to manipulate, they have a narrative that's false. There's a lot of false news, fake news out there today. As a matter of fact, all legacy news media is false. They're not telling any truth, because I've done research on it. And I've said, well, that doesn't sound right. Let me do some research. And sure enough, they're not telling the truth. And that's rampant today around the world, because there's an effort to change the mentality of mankind, of humankind, as we speak. And a lot of people are buying it. And that's where the Freedom Convoy comes in here in Canada, because there's a lot of people not buying it. And they know the truth. And when I was in Ottawa, I saw the truth firsthand. I saw the false reports and I saw the real reports. And I came to realize, wow, what a difference. But the spoken word has power. Which one are you listening to? Which one are you allowing to influence your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions? Now, I said a key word about actions. Now, did you want to take a stab at how the actions tie in to our words, or do you want me to just go ahead?
I'll take a stab at it. I think that you can say a lot of things. You can say that you're going to do something, or you're going to say that you're not going to do something. And until you actually get off your butt and perform the actions, doesn't make it happen. And that's like one of the things that I talk about in my mastermind about setting goals. You can set goals all day long, but until you have a plan and you actually get off your butt and perform those goals, you're not going anywhere.
That's right. 100%, brother. You nailed it. You took a stab and you got it right in the heart. So, good. And we're not going to call you OJ though, okay? I saw a joke about that earlier today, so that's the only reason I thought of that. But anyway, that's old news, right?
And, that's dating us big time. Yeah. I remember watching that on TV.
Right, the white Bronco down the highway. But anyways, so I digress. we should have fun anyways, right, brother? So that's one of the things that we're doing here. We're willing to be happy about the conversations that we have. And that's one of the things that's key when you talk to somebody, is to be in that place where you can have some appreciation for what the other person is saying from an empathetic position, from an understanding place. Don't just listen for the sake of listening so that you can create a response, but listen to be empathetic and understand what the other person's saying. There's a message there. And if they're talking crap, if they're talking lies, then wait a second, that person needs some help. If they're talking powerful truth, then wait a second, that person's someone I should be listening to. So there's always a hidden message in the things that people say. If we give ourselves the chance to be aware and make a choice, back to awareness and choice, of our understanding, our empathetic belief or power to actually realize, wait a second, that person's making me feel negative, so that must be a lie. Or that person's making me feel negative because I believe a lie, right? So there's subtle nuances involved in communication, in verbal communication. It's what's said, it's the vibration, the message that's being said. It's also how you listen about it and how you feel about it and how you receive what's being said. So what's spoken, like you said, if the person talks about going jogging, but they never even put on their running shoes, well, then obviously what they say is bunk, and what they do is the truth. And that leads me to actions. What we do is the undeniable truth. We do what we believe is right. We do what we believe we need to do. What we say, hopefully, is in vibrational alignment with what we do. If not, we're seriously mixed up. We are so confused. And we are in a place where we are going to manifest some nasty garbage because what we are doing is not in alignment with what we are saying. And it's very likely, if that's the case, it's not in alignment with what you're feeling or what you're thinking. And you've got 4 different vibrations going on, 4 different frequencies. You're a mess. And that's sad. That's bad. That's not even remotely something that is good, because you're only going to end up with a mess of a life doing that. And we need to understand that it's changeable, it's fixable. You're not doomed by that. No. You should be informed by that, by awareness and choice, knowing that, wait a second, I'm thinking one thing, I'm feeling something different. I'm so frustrated about the fact that I'm not thinking the same thing that I'm feeling, that what I'm saying is even more off the wall and out of the blue. And now I'm taking action that is like I'm not even making sense. I'm out here shopping and spending money when I don't need to. I don't even need these things because I'm so frustrated with how things are going. And that is what will create circumstances. Shopping is just an example that I've been through with other clients, where they impulse shop because they've had a bad day and they're spending money, they're buying stuff they don't even need. And it's how we end up in a place where what we say and what we do creates a negative lifestyle or a negative circumstance or a negative reality for us. And we can change that so easily. And brother, you're a perfect example of how to change that. And it's a beautiful thing when we come to that awareness to make that choice to say what we think, because it's how we feel and it's what we want to say. So for example, you're feeling a great sense of love and appreciation for someone. You're feeling it, right? You're thinking it, you're feeling it. And you come right out and you say, yeah, I really appreciate you, man. I really appreciate the things you did today for me, or that you allowed me to do for you. I appreciate how you received them. And you know what? I really want to give you this gift.
Yep.
And what are you doing? You're changing your world. You're changing your reality. You are on a powerful, powerful broadcast of the universe. And the universe is going to reward you with powerful, wonderful things. You're going to manifest beautiful, loving, unexpected, beautifully unexpected, and wonderfully surprising things in your life. And this is the difference. People get stuck in wondering why they're not manifesting good things. And they don't understand that they've got these contrary, nullifying vibrations, frequencies in how they think, how they feel about what they think, what they say about how they feel and the actions they take. And if
Yep.
we could just get all of that aligned, understand, go to the inside, do some meditations, just take a deep breath a couple of times and say, whoa, you know what? I'm not feeling like I want to
Right.
feel. I don't want to feel this way. And just give yourself the chance to say, well, wait, what do I want to feel? Well, I'd love to be happy. I'd love to love that person rather than feel like I should hate them. And it's amazing when you slow down,
Yep.
use your stimulus response gap to realize what triggers you and don't let it trigger you,
Yep.
and choose to make a difference.
Yep.
What a powerful change you will see in your life, brother. What a powerful change. And anybody listening, I hope you understand that, because it is the way humanity needs to understand and embrace our need to connect. And we've been forced to not connect. We've been put in a place where go home, wear a mask, get the jab, whatever the case may be, and understand that, for example, the 6 feet apart thing. Everybody broadcasts a vibration, and our connection is based on being close enough to receive that vibration and feel that connection with the other human being. We're 6 feet apart. We're just far enough apart. Now, don't tell me that they didn't think of this. They're just far enough apart where you can't connect with the other human being.
Yep.
We're being told to wear a mask, so you can't get the facial expressions. You can't get that thing that we were taught as children, as babies, how to understand that people are reacting. All you can see is the eyes. The eyes are the window to the soul, but the face in general, in total, is what actually gives the message. You can say a lot with just your face and your eyes, and we're not saying a word.
Yep.
Right?
100%. 100%.
And we're connected or we're not connected. But what has been the force, the mandates, the protocols, the narrative for the last little while? Be disconnected. And what happens when you're disconnected? You're thirsty for stimulus. What happens when you're fed a negative narrative that feeds that? You're even more disconnected, because now you're fearful of your fellow man. Now you're fearful of things that are something we shouldn't fear, because we've been dealing with viruses for thousands of years, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And then you just go out and do the research yourself, and you figure out, wait, what they're saying is not true.
Mhm.
And the research, they say, let's follow the science, and then you follow the science, and the science says something totally different.
Yeah.
And you're like, wait, that's not true. So I shouldn't feel a certain way about something because somebody else told me to. And
That's
that
right.
brings me a key point and topic. Don't also necessarily take everybody's point and not research it. Research
right.
it for yourself. Figure it out. Even with the law of attraction, research it.
Yep.
Figure it out. There is a different way for you to do it. Don't do it the way me and Coach Dean say to do it. Research it yourself.
Yep.
Figure out, okay, is this the way I want to do it? Is this how I want to change my mind? Or maybe you look at Coach Dean and say, you know what, Coach Dean, I loved what you said. I want to sign up for one of your classes, start taking one of your classes weekly, monthly, daily, however you want to do it, and learn from you, because you're point on. I mean, that's just how it is. Everybody's personality is different. Everybody's subconscious is different. So you might do some research and come back to Coach Dean and ask him millions of questions.
Yeah, and I love that, because
Yeah.
if you're asking questions, it means that you are thirsting for knowledge. You want the truth. You're seeking the truth. And because of where I've been, if it's coming out of my mouth, it's the truth as far as I know. And I have researched. I have been through the experience. I've been to hell and back. So I know the right from the wrong. I know the good from the bad. I know all of these vibrational frequencies and all the challenges that can be faced. I've been through so many different coaching programs, so I know the best way to coach people. I've been through so many business programs, so I know the best way to build a business. So that, these, you can't sit on your couch and watch TV and learn what you need to learn in life. You got to get out there. You got to take action. And that's the fourth thing. It's the actions you take, because that is the truth of your life. Are you sitting back in fear, or are you taking action without fear? What is it you're doing? And that defines the results that you're going to find.
Yep. And you can't stay in your comfort zone.
No.
And I'm not 100% on who said this. I think it was Elon Musk. But you have to live outside your comfort zone to achieve everything.
Yep.
or achieve anything.
That's
You
right.
have to not want to do it to get off your butt to do it.
That's right.
And I mean, that doesn't sound like, why would I want to get out of my comfort zone? How are you supposed to push your limits? One of the things I absolutely could not stand probably about 10-ish years ago was public speaking. Now I can get up in front of people and I don't even think about it. I just walk out on stage or do a live, not even thinking about it. Like, I'm not even thinking about it. I'm speaking to 20,000 people or 5,000, whatever. It doesn't even subconsciously bother me anymore because it's one of those things that I push my boundaries, I push my belief system.
Yep.
And then, you know what? I can do this.
That's right. And the beautiful thing is that you came across, you shared a very subtle, powerful truth right there. And I have learned that all truths are just a subtle shift away from all the lies, because the lies are being fabricated and being put forth and used as manipulations in an expectation for us to believe them.
Yep.
So they have to be kind of rubbing shoulders with the truth, right? But when we actually are in a place to research and find the truth, we will find that we need to challenge our limits, not limit our challenges.
Yep.
We need to understand that there's no growth in the comfort zone. There's no comfort in the growth zone. So use the same words, shuffle them around a bit, same words, different meaning.
Yep.
And this is how we are manipulated with lies. They're using the words that our subconscious is at first saying, oh yeah, that makes sense. Maybe we should do that. But
Yep.
then when you give your spiritual self a chance to realize, wait a second, that's wrong. I'm doing something, because when you're actually finally taking action, that's when your spirit's going, no!
Exactly.
Right? And you're feeling all these like controversial, conflicting emotions. That's because your spirit's saying that's the wrong thing to do. And that's when we start to realize, well, wait a second, I must have the truth. I must be misunderstanding what I thought was the truth.
Yeah.
That's where critical thinking comes in, my friend. And that's what's going to save humanity. We have to get off the couch, put down the popcorn, and do some critical thinking, do some research, get into a place where we are aware of what we need to choose, so we can take action, so we don't lose.
Yes. You've got to take action or you're going to lose. I mean, just look at it right now. What are you doing to change the situation you're in? If you're not doing anything, then you're going to stay in that situation.
Right. Right.
So pushing your boundaries is very, very true. And I think it's one of the things that you have to do as a person.
Yep.
And don't take it from me. Try it yourself.
That's right.
Write down what makes you uncomfortable, and it might be skydiving.
Yeah, that would be something, eh? Jumping out of a perfectly good plane, you better hope you got your parachute wrapped, right, or packed, right? And that made me think of the joke. Is it okay if I tell a joke, my friend?
Yeah, sure.
So this hardworking man comes home from work one day, and he says, "Dear wife," he says, "how about a beer before it starts?" And she's, thinking, "Oh, here's your beer. It's been a rough day for the guy. It's been a hot day, so poof, the beer's gone pretty quick." So of course he sets the beer down and he's thinking, "Man, that tasted good. I'd like another beer." So he says to the wife, he says, "Dear wife," he says, "how about another beer before it starts?" And she takes the empty bottle and goes to get another beer and hands him the beer. And of course now his whistle's been wet, so he's not so bad. This one takes a little longer, and he finally finishes the beer, and he puts the beer bottle down, the empty, and he says to the wife, he says, "Now, how about another beer, dear wife, before it starts?" And as she's coming back with the beer, she says, "Are you just going to sit there all night and drink? Is that all you're going to do, is sit there and drink?" And he says, "It starts."
Yep.
So the reason I tell that joke, and some people might resonate with the joke, some people might think it's suggesting alcoholism. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is how we perceive relationships and what other people do. We can't change what other people do. It's not possible. There is not a soul on this planet that you can change what they're thinking, saying, or doing, or feeling. It all depends on doing from your internal a shift, a change, a paradigm change, where you understand, wait a second, there's a problem here. And I've been bitching at this guy or a woman or whatever friend for 20 years, and they won't change. Well,
Yep.
then how in the God's name did it get to 20 years? It should have been 2 or 3 times, and you realize, wait a second, this ain't working. I need another attempt. I need to try something else.
Yep.
And that's the definition of insanity right there. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting something different to happen.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So that gives us an opportunity to be in that place where we go, oh yeah, we've been doing these mandates for 2 years and nothing's changed.
Yeah.
So maybe there's something wrong with the mandates, right?
Obviously, they're not working, which is funny because your joke actually answered one of the questions we got from the viewers.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
What was the question?
You can't see it. I guess not.
No.
Is it possible that you may not affect?
Oh, I see it. There it is at the bottom. Let me answer that. Is it possible that negative consciousness may not only affect you, but it may affect everyone around you as well? That's 100% true. Negative consciousness is a feeling. It's a deep, powerful feeling that you can't help but express, because that's how you're going to have actions. You're going to say words. You're going to have feelings. And that broadcast is something that connects with other people, assuming you're not 6 feet apart wearing a mask in a different house on a Zoom call. But the thing is that we can actually, when we don't have the mask on, when we are actually communicating with passion and empathy, I can feel your energy, Wes, and I'm hoping you can feel mine. And this is how we affect other people. When I was on my mastermind call today, we had someone talking about the loss of a pet. And all of us got weepy-eyed because this person was willing to be vulnerable enough to share how they had to take their dog into the vet, and because of its illness, the dog had to be put down. Most of us have pets. If we don't, we know someone that does have a pet, or we have children, and a lot of our pets are just like children. And when that person was sharing the story, I'm telling you, my heart was broken right along with them.
Yep.
So yes, it's possible that negative consciousness can not only affect you, but affect everyone around you as well. Another example is this. Let's just, for example, say that you're not feeling so great and you're about to enter a room full of other people, and you didn't really want to go, but you choose to go. Yep. But as you're approaching the room, you can hear jovial laughter, lots of, you can hear the chatter and the hubbub, and you realize, wait a second, there's like something going on in that room. What is it? Yep. And you get into that room, and all of a sudden you feel a different tingle. You feel a different vibration. You see the happiness. You see the smiles. You hear the laughter. You see people having a good time, smiling, connecting, being empathetic towards each other's emotional strength of happiness. It's a high vibration. All vibrations can be replicated or duplicated. So, for example, if you went into that room happy and everybody was sad, if you go to a funeral and you're feeling good, you're remembering that person that's being eulogized, and you're thinking, I used to love, I still do love that person, and we used to have so much fun together. But you enter the room and everybody's boo hoo hoo. So that will affect other people. And it's whoever asked this question, excellent question. Thank you so much for the question. I saw you doing labels or whatever you want to call it there. I didn't realize that was a question. So I apologize.
Oh, yeah. I've got about 6 more questions.
No, go for it, brother. Let's have it.
All right. So the next one.
Oh, the law of attraction is very real, my friend. It is not a scam. Anybody that says it's a scam simply doesn't understand it. It's a law that is one of 12 natural universal laws that actually comprise the power of the creation of the universe. So there's the law of vibration. There's a law of polarity, positive and negative. There's a law of vibration. And you can research this all you want. But the law of attraction is a bunch of these laws in combination. Now, if you've watched my last, the first episode with respect to how we think and how we feel and how they need to align, and today's episode about what we say and what we do and how those things need to resonate on the same frequency, you will start to see a change. What you have right now in your life is what you thought, what you felt, what you said, and what you did up to this point. Yep. Guaranteed, 100% across every soul on this planet. What you have right now is what you chose to have up to this point. If you want something to change, you got to make the change. We've been talking about awareness and choice this whole time. You've got to be aware enough to know there's a problem and keen enough to make the change. And if you don't know how, ask for help. Is it a scam? It can be considered a scam depending on how it's taught or what you're paying to get the information, and the person doesn't teach you the right thing. So if there's any of the information is left out, and you're paying to get that information, then it's a scam. For example, and I'm not saying that the movie The Secret is a scam, but a lot of people didn't realize that what you say and what you do was more or less left out of that movie. So the four components of the law of attraction have got to be employed and have got to be practiced on an equal frequency vibration in order for you to actually manifest something. And like I said, that person, that girl that I know that's a manifester of the most terrible things, she thinks about it powerfully because her car breaks down all the time. She feels about it powerfully because she's terrified that she's going to get in her car and it's going to break down. And then she talks about it before she goes out the door and says, you know what, I could just tell I got the worst life and my car's going to break down. And then what happens? She takes actions by not taking in proper maintenance and not getting regular oil changes and not saying, you know, maybe I should go to the garage instead of the movies.
Yeah, exactly.
And what happens on the way to the movies? Her car breaks down. So it's an understanding thing. It's an awareness thing. And it's actually very powerfully true. Can we subconsciously create our own destiny? Everything starts with subconscious thought. So like I mentioned earlier, with our spiritual connection with our emotions, that is the beginning of our subconscious creating our own destiny. Now, are you listening? Are you choosing to be aware? What is the next step? Well, the next step is the stimulus response gap. Being aware of what your feelings and emotions are, having the understanding that if they're negative, you want to change them to the higher level of frequency of positive, where love is, and choosing to. So human beings are the only species that can change their mental processes on purpose at will. Every other animal, every other creature is instinctive and cannot do that. Now, we don't know if whales are in or out of that category because we haven't had the opportunity to understand how to communicate with them, but they are one of the oldest, most wise, or at least habitual creatures on the planet. Creating your own destiny, you've already done that. You've, like I mentioned after the last question, where you are now, it has been your choice to be where you are. Okay. So can you describe your own law of attraction that has changed over time? It's a law. It doesn't change. My results have changed.
Right.
But how the law works has been working since the first human started existing 200,000 years ago. And we can talk about why it's 200,000 years at another time. That's when man's DNA was actually manipulated by an external source. And we've actually just come to the place where we know enough about genome therapy that we can actually prove that there's a spot in our DNA that can only have been done by surgery. How it happened 200,000 years ago, we're still trying to figure out. But man has not evolved beyond what we are now today for 200,000 years. So for describing it for myself, my understanding has changed over time. The law never changed. My ability to manifest changed over time when I started wanting to know what in the world am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Why is it not working? And
Yeah.
that's when I said, okay, so there's got to be somebody out there that can tell me all the things I need to know. And that's when I started, like you said, Wes, research. Find someone that knows what they're talking about and get the answers you need.
Yep.
How did I get started with the law of attraction? It happened after my second attempt at suicide when I realized that I needed to make a huge difference in my life. I understood at that point in time that my dad's aggressive nature, his abuse to me, and I'll just give you a quick blurb of how serious that abuse was. He didn't sexually abuse me. He mentally abused me and physically. I went home from school one day, or on the way home from school one day. My dad was the mayor in a small town. I got beset by three native boys that lived in the area. And I got I got beat up. I was bloody lip, bloody nose, black eye, sore. And I cried crying home to my dad. Now, my dad's a World War II fighter pilot veteran, and he was the mayor of the town. He owned the biggest business. When I went crying home to him that I just got beat up by three boys, here we go. He beat me because there was only three boys. Yeah. So that was how I was introduced to my mental approach in life. So from that point, I became a beast, a warrior, a fighter, a manipulator, suppressing my emotions, letting nothing but anger and rage. I considered myself similar to the Hulk when I got into a fight. and I got into lots of fights.
Yep.
And it was one of those things where it cost me my life. It cost me my family, my pensions, my home, and I ended up living in my car
Yeah.
before I chose to commit or try to commit suicide. So the starting of my law of attraction journey was when I reached the bottom and knew that, wait a second, I'm doing something really wrong here, and I can't even get suicide right. So
You can't even get that one thing right.
right?
Question.
What's the most random thing that I've attracted in my life? I've attracted so many random things. So the law of attraction manifests things in an unexpected way. We feel or desire or want things to be a certain way. And let's just say, for example, okay, I'll use this one that comes to mind. I entered a very expensive mastermind at a time when I didn't really have the extra money. And it was five figures. It was well, you were part of the mastermind.
Yeah.
So,
I was, and it
right?
was.
So
Yeah.
very shortly after I entered that mastermind, I was made a part of a group of people where I was given, through the law of attraction and manifestation, connections with people that knew so many things about business that I wasn't aware of.
Yep.
And I was introduced to an amazing software by some people that were super successful at what they do. Now, had I not joined that mastermind, I would have not been exposed to those amazing business people. I would not have been exposed to you, Wes. And I would not have had the opportunity to have this amazing software that I have now that actually slams my lead generation, and it's totally transformed my conversion rate and my authenticity and my ability to connect with LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, or no, not YouTube, Twitter and Instagram. And it's just like, wow. And it's taught me so many things. Just learning how to use that software. Was it something I needed? Absolutely. Was it expected? I could never have predicted that.
Yeah.
So, and that's just one example. I've had the law of attraction provide so many things.
Yep.
I actually had the law of attraction provide me where people reviewed my website or my profile or whatever the case may be, and they realized, wait a second, I don't want this guy to be my client. I want this guy to be my business partner.
Yep.
So we had a call set up, scheduled, and after we timed the call and booked the call, the person reviewed my website and my profile and realized, wait a second, this guy is way better than any potential client. I wouldn't insult him by asking him to be a client.
Yep.
I actually want him to be a business partner. And that was admitted to me more than once by individuals when we got on calls. So yeah, there's your randomness right there, brother.
Yeah, and I will 100% speak to that. Mastermind is, I've been introduced to a lot of people I would have never to. Obviously, Coach Dean, like you said before. But there are a lot of people that I have learned from, and there's a lot of people I have teamed up with.
Yeah.
Obviously, Coach Dean Brown is one of them. That's actually where I get a lot of my guest speakers from, is from that group, because I will take it to that group first to find out if anybody knows about it. And without a doubt, I can't tell you how many new clients I have met in that group that I wasn't even expecting to be clients,
Right.
by just having chats with them and explaining to them what I do. And then all of a sudden, the questions come flowing out.
Oh, amazing.
And you can, one of the things I taught on my subject in another group yesterday was I don't sell to people.
No.
I don't at all. I get on a phone call or get on the Zoom or WebEx or whatever, and I talk to them and I find out what their problems are.
Yep.
And if I can give them a solution, then I give them a solution. If I can't, I find somebody that can solve that problem.
That's right.
Just with that positive attraction has brought me more clients and new clients.
And without even the intention of getting clients. You weren't there to get a client. You were there to help somebody. Give to receive. That's how the law of attraction works. And I've been through the same thing where I've been in a place where someone asked me for help. People that were in affiliate marketing groups with me, where they were saying, I like your energy. Maybe you can help me with such and such automation, or the email processes, or whatever the case may be. And I just said, yeah, sure. Let's get on a call. No charge, no worries. Let's hop on a call. Let me see what I can do. And
Exactly.
the person afterwards saying, you know what? I need to be in your group because I love what you do and how you do it. So, and that's exactly how it works. Just put yourself out there, take actions, but be aligned vibrationally, my friends. Be in the place where what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you're saying, and what you're doing is in vibrational alignment with what you want.
Yep.
Remember how I said last week, where if you wanted a new car, don't get in your old car, the one that makes you inspired to want the new car, and say, oh, I hate this radio. I hate this steering wheel. It's got no balls. It won't start. Well, you're just destroying your opportunity to manifest a new car. Say this. Oh, I can't. I'm just so going to enjoy that new stereo in my new car. I'm so going to enjoy the feel of that new steering wheel. I'm so going to enjoy the remote start. I'm so going to enjoy how the brakes work with so much less pressure and no shudder. And that's the subtle change that we need to employ, my friends. That's how we make the difference.
Yep. And one of the things that most people don't think about is that car that you think's a piece of junk could be an amazing, most beautiful thing that somebody has ever seen that doesn't have a car, or that needs a new car that will at least run.
Yeah, that's right. And that's one of those weird things where many years ago, I don't do it anymore. Excuse me, but I used to pay attention to what people put at the end of their driveway, thinking that, you know what? I always wanted a Lawn Boy lawnmower. There's one right there. The body's broken, but the engine's perfect. I'll wait till I see another Lawn Boy in the end of the road, and I bet you that one will have a perfect body and no engine. And sure enough, I end up with a beautiful Lawn Boy lawnmower.
Or a garage full of a bunch of stuff.
Well, I mean, it was about 2 years between the two. So my wife was actually in a place, my former wife was actually in a place where she was saying, are you going to hold on to that forever? And I said, I'm sure the second half of this is going to come together soon. And sure enough, it did. So true enough, you can end up with a lot of garbage if you're not careful.
Yeah. I have a family member that does that now, harassing all the time. I'm like, you just cut that cord off a heater that's been broke for 4 years. Really?
Yeah.
It's sitting in the garage for 4 years. I think it can go.
Yeah, 100%. Any more questions, brother? Or are we all cleared up on the questions?
Those were all the questions that were emailed to me from all the viewers. I want to thank all the viewers that watched the video. Appreciate everybody coming out live. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that you want to learn about, let me know. If you need more information on Coach Dean, feel free to reach out. I'll shoot you over his email address, his YouTube channel, all his information. I don't know if he has YouTube.
Yeah, I do. Yep.
But I'll shoot over all his information, and I will see you guys on Tech Talk Live next week, same time, 3:30 Central. See you guys later.
Bye, everybody.